Good evening and welcome to Champions Poker Live. Tonight, it's the final table of the James Duke Invitational Tournament. 35 players total, friends of James and people who work here at Champions Club that James invited to play. Bought into a $200 tournament with $100 rebuys and $100 add-ons. And now we're down to the final 9. Here's a look at your chip stacks coming into the final table. Bidong is your chip leader at 695,000, and Iberia Bull has the short stack right now at 171,000. We're right at about 21 big blinds as the average, and this tournament is paying 4 spots. This is Dan Fouts in the booth coming to you live with Kyle Miller tonight. How you doing, Kyle?
Good. Glad we got in the booth here. It's going to be a fun one to finish the night, yeah.
Yeah, this should be a great table. In the 1 seat, she's away from the table now, but that'll be Shanice in the 1 seat from right here in Houston. She's a Champions dealer. And in the 2 seat is Mark, a drilling engineer from Groves, Texas.
Yep. And then in the 3 seat, we've got Dan, also nearby from Conroe, Texas. And then in the 4 seat, we have David. He is looking for the winning hand tonight.
In the 5 seat, we have AQ, who happens to be the 1 seat's boyfriend from Alphaveta, Georgia, a marketing guy. On the 6th seat, we've got Big Fish. He's one of our dealers here at Champions Club. And the 7 again was Bidong. He's your chip leader, also a Champions dealer.
And not to be counted out, Mark Smith, I hear he is a killer right there in the 8th seat. Right. And rounding it out, we have Milos in the 9.
Oh, hell.
3 million total chips in play. Average stack currently 337,000. Big blinds, 16,000 right now. So they're right at about 20 big blinds each.
Yep. And there's Shanice jumping into the 1 now.
Yeah. And our dealer in the box is Jen Palmer, an all-star. She's dealt the final table of the World Series main event. And here she is dealing the James Duke Invitational at Champions Club.
No stranger to World Series. We also have a recent tournament player that cashed this year in the 2 seat. That's Mark that cashed in the senior event.
And Milos in the 9 seat says he's played the main twice, or sorry, in the Iberia Bowl in the 8 seat, rather, has played the main twice. So these are folks that like to play tournament poker, obviously. Yeah. Action folds around here to the cutoff. And Mark is going to raise it up to 45,000 with ace-jack suited. And he'll take the blinds and antes, drawing first blood at the final table.
Yeah. Nice little raise and take with the best of it. Ace-jack suited. Good start.
Is anybody staying in the hotel tonight?
Yeah, I'm looking at, we always gather the favorite hands from all the players going into it, get to know them a little bit. There's nothing really out of line. A lot of suited connectors or pocket aces or ace-king suited. Everything makes sense. Shanice does like the ladies, though. She even put the Queen of Clubs, Queen of Spades, 2 black queens.
Yep, very specific.
Yeah.
Speaking of favorite hands, I just saw 10-8 suited. That's 2 players at this table, their favorite hand, but obviously not that player.
Yeah. And not in this context, probably not what they want to be opening with.
Shanice wakes up with the ace-king, raises it to 40, and Dan is going to jam it all in here with 2 black 9s for 183,000.
And she looks like she has a stack. She might call this off.
I don't hate the shove here.
Yeah.
Get a fold sometimes. Pick up some dead money. And
yeah, that was a quick call.
And often you're going to be a flip here. He does have one of the shorter stacks. It's 20-minute levels, and we're just about to go up a level, so average stack about to go down to about 15 bigs. So I don't hate the shove. Get it in there and collect some chips if you can.
Classic.
Yep, like she said, classic little flip.
Yep. So Dan does have the shorter stack and will be at risk, but he is ahead right now. Should be going to the flop shortly. Shanice looking to pick up an ace or a king there.
We didn't see too many. We did see Marcel, Mr. Big Fish, fold out the king, queen of diamonds.
Unless you just want to get out quick.
A for Astros.
Yeah, here we go.
Well, good flop for the nines. Dan improves to 75% equity. Just looking to fade an ace or a king on the river. You can see that some of those outs are dead. Shanice with 3 outs here, 2 aces and a king left in the deck.
And he actually has the club draw now live for him. And
Oh.
Got it.
just for extra measure.
Show off. Nines full.
Never didn't
Yeah.
have it.
Doubling up, and now Dan looking to be in pretty good shape here with over the chip average from short stack to 406,000 in chips. And just in time. As blinds go up.
Sweet.
You guys are helping me get to the game. Maybe I need to cancel that ticket sale.
You're doing your part.
Yeah, run right there and cancel it.
Yeah, I still don't hate the call off. She still has enough chips to play. She kind of joins the bottom of the short stacks there, but
Yeah. Yeah, I'm almost never folding ace king in that spot, so you know.
it pays to the top 4. So I'm playing to win.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for any ladders right now.
Right.
You don't necessarily want to get it in on the third hand of the final table, but the pocket nines and the ace king, both those plays make complete sense to
He's not from
me.
Houston. He's fine. He's not gonna hurt his.
And now blinds are up to 20K, 10,000, 20,000 with a 20,000 big blind ante. Average stack now at right around 17 big blinds, so still a lot of play.
Yep.
This is a little bit different structure than our normal Champions Club tournaments. This was an invitation-only event, so 20-minute levels instead of our normal 30 or 40-minute levels here at Champions.
Oh yeah.
And
Shanice will get it all in pre-flop this time, waking up with ace-queen of hearts.
some real hands already.
Yeah.
Funny if he busted.
I know. That's. Oh yeah.
And Shanice is down at around 9 big blinds right now, so that
If he's
totally
willing to
makes
bust me, I
sense.
definitely
He'd
get
be
to go
over
to the
here
game.
You're out there having a fun
A
time.
little posture, not
If he
too much
busts
to
me, I
think
100%
about
always
here.
Get to go to the game.
Yeah, it is frustrating when you're in the blinds and the blinds are that big, though.
Yeah.
And you get suited connectors
probably
that happen to
should've
be
just
face
raised, but I was
cards
just like,
twice in a row and have to fold.
That just
Yeah,
happens like
not
that.
see a
I'm just
flop.
like,
Yeah.
Let's take the pot down.
I had ace-8.
Should have raised. But
You're also thinking like, oh, is she just tilt shoving here?
Sure.
But no, she had it.
see.
And when you jammed the ace-king, I had an ace, he hit a king.
Oh well.
Yeah, counting the outs
Ooh,
that she
I know
did
you
not
wanted
have on
I know you wanted
that
to
flip
grab
against the
it.
nines.
Yeah, you did. Until you saw it was out there.
I was a little salty about it.
Looks like they can maybe color up some of those yellows there. Getting the yellows in the middle for the big blind posted.
Yeah. He'll be asking for change in the next hand. He used all of his chips instead of putting a big one out there.
Yeah, he's out of those 5K chips. Those
Right.
those nice little yellow ones are 1K chips. The greens, the oversized chips that are amazing, are the 25K chips. And it looks like that's all we're going to have in play so far.
And should be probably for
Yeah.
this tournament. I wouldn't imagine they'll bring out the 100Ks. Only 3 million chips total in play. Mark raised it up here with a mystery hand. He's got a queen for sure.
And we're going to find out soon enough, or maybe
Yeah.
not. We'll see if he can
Yeah.
call this off.
AQ jamming with King Jack in the cutoff here.
Yeah.
Not sure how I feel about this with an early position raise in front of him, but we'll
Yeah.
find out what we've got here. Ace
Yep,
queen
ace queen
versus
makes
King
sense.
Jack. So he's got 2 live cards, but he's well behind here. AQ needing some help.
French fries and ketchup.
AQ also with the shorter stack in this case.
Yep.
But somebody's going to take down a nice pot here. That's
Yep. 566 in the middle.
yeah, and that's almost double what the average stack is right now. So
Yeah.
somebody's going to be a big chip leader after this hand.
Wow.
And AQ spiking the king. Mark needs an ace or running diamonds here.
No diamond there, so we are drawing for Mark to an ace.
And he does not get it. AQ doubling up and taking down a really big pot here
Yep.
relative to the stack sizes at this
He's
table.
trying to go to the
That's
after
pulling
game.
in right behind Brandon.
I took my thing out of my pocket.
Brandon
was trying
still
to
should
get
have
that
that
full
chip
game.
lead right now.
We only have
Yeah, it's going to be very close. But
Yeah.
Brandon, pretty close to 700,000. AQ now.
Huh?
At
Oh, that's yeah. And there's the change that we're looking for.
yeah.
Almost five, a little over 550, 556.
Oh, now he's gonna get shipped all those 1K chips.
And Brandon just went through the blinds, so he's going to be
Yeah.
down, what, 40, 50, 50,000
right now. So.
from his start, so it's going to be really close.
Would you have?
I do know that Brandon loves to abuse his button and position, especially if he has the stack to do it. So we'll see if he wakes up with anything nice or gets a little bit out of line, a little loose here.
Gonna be some action, boss.
The range of hands you can play obviously will always widen up
That's clever.
the later position that you are. So, especially if you can afford it with your stack.
Yeah. And obviously that, it depends on what happens in front of you.
Yep.
You know.
So it's one of those of if the 8 seat and the 9 seat are super short stacked, you have a huge stack, monster stack, you can honestly just abuse it and
Yeah, but he didn't.
almost just put them all in or make them call off half their stack, and it's really nothing relative to your own stack. So some of those like positions later on in the tournaments are huge to get a nice table draw.
Yeah, it always feels good to be the chip leader and have one of the short stacks to your left. And he does.
Any 2 cards.
Dave's going to raise this one up here with Queen Jack of clubs to 50K.
I was like, I know that one's mine.
I don't mind this in a cash game situation, but I feel like in a tournament that's not necessarily a premium to raise with, but it's going to work out for him this time. He's going to pick up the blinds and antes.
It's a pretty decent raise too, open raise.
Yeah.
Most people would probably elect for just slightly less than that. Maybe the 2.1x. We had seen the 45,000 open previously, so you may think that it's just a marginal. What's the difference of 5K? But when the small blind's 10K, that's half your small.
Yeah.
And you do that a couple hands in a row, and you lose those hands that you opened, or have to fold out, like open fold. It adds up quick.
Looks like AQ will get some of those yellows off the table here.
Yeah.
Racked up 40K.
Hopefully make Jen's job easier.
Only Jen can make Jen's job harder.
Yeah, I like that. We were playing the mixed games, and Jen had pushed into the box over there, and you're giving her some nice little needles here and there.
Oh yeah, we all like to needle each other here. Give me 10 more thousand, AQ. I can read Dave's mind.
So we have Bidong and Brandon right there opening up with pocket sevens.
In the cutoff, which totally makes sense given his stack size. As you said, in position, his range is going to be pretty wide, and any pocket pair you can open with. But that's not the board he was looking for.
Wow.
2 overcards to him. Shanice smashing it here, open-ended and a flush draw, but Brandon's going to continue, as he should.
No pair, but all the equity.
Yeah. She may jam and just try to get him to fold out now.
She said Astros game. I do not think that he can call this off. He's getting the count. How much did he put in? Yeah,
put in
120
50,
to
I
call.
believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be getting a really good price here, but on that board, he may not want to give her the chips.
Yeah. And he really is, if he does make this call, he is hoping that she honestly has exactly what she has. Where she's got 2 overs, she hasn't realized anything yet, she's on a draw, but he has to know that it has to be a strong draw. He has to hold.
Nice look at those beautiful chips.
Yeah. And they've played together. They've worked together. for a couple years, so that's probably factoring into that decision making too.
There's no math in poker.
Might be a little bit harder of a position if Brandon was stuck in this position against somebody else here at this table he didn't quite know.
Right. Yeah, a lot of history there. Time shifts?
Definitely not a bounty or anything, and
Yeah, there's
he
no
does find the
bounty,
fold.
but I see that everybody has.
Wow, a
couple of those white
courteous show.
Maybe they're drink tokens because it was kind of an invitational.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Because I think she did say $2
girl to do
as
on
she
that flop.
kind of tossed it in.
Yeah. Good for a well drink maybe or a
Yeah.
beer. I didn't ask what those were for.
Knowing James Duke, it probably is a drink token.
Yeah. And he used all the rest of them.
Yeah.
James is a character and a super nice guy. This was a cool event to do for him. And you can see, you can tell which guys are his friends that were invited here that are not players or not the dealers that work
Yep.
here. A lot of really nice folks. We had a few of them after they busted out playing in the mixed game and
Thank
playing
you.
in some 1-3 Hold'em games here. Nothing but really nice fellows
Yep.
and ladies in James' friend group.
Yeah, he mentioned they might have to do something like this again, and it's awesome that Champions has been able to provide that opportunity.
We got the big fish
Yeah.
jamming it all in here.
Speaking of opportunities,
The ace
Ace Jack
off
might be
suit.
one.
Good
Yeah.
jam, good jam.
Looking to pick up some blinds and annies. I don't think he wanted a call there, but that's a good one to rip it with. And if
Yeah.
you do get called, at least you've got some equity.
And he knew he just really had to get, that was a little bit later
The only
of
thing about
position
buttons
at that
size,
point,
like when
so
you're dealing, it's so big, you're like,
he had
don't hit the
fewer
button, don't
hands to
hit
get
the
through.
button.
If he was under the gun, might be a little bit just kind of min raise or the 2.1, see the flop, try to realize equity. But I believe he was under the gun +3 in that spot.
Yeah, a couple of folds in front of him. Feel a little bit better about
yeah.
it.
Less likely you'll run into it, I guess.
David with the suited ace here. He's got not a giant stack, but well over 10 bigs. So he's just going to do a smaller raise here. Makes it, min raises it to 40K. And with ace queen of hearts, what a big hand to just call with.
Yeah, and Dan does cover David. This could be trouble, but David does flop the best of it
He does outflop
with
Dan here.
bottom pair.
And he's going to
Wow. It's the thought that
see
counts.
bet and take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got the fold before the chips hit the pot.
Snug play from Dan, but worked out perfectly.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna play that one, but I need some Andean chips. I need some Andean chips,
There you go.
blind chips.
It is always nice dragging a pot right before you get into the blinds. Feel like you're basically free rolling in orbit.
Yeah, especially when you get down to where we're at here, where the average stack is around 15 bigs. You want to try to steal at least once
Yeah.
per orbit. Or, you know, win a big pot would be nicer, but
Yeah.
if you can steal, then you get one free orbit. Takes the pressure off a little bit. Tournament poker's all about pressure.
Yeah, it's very dynamic. Blinds escalate. Stack sizes change throughout. So you have to be adaptive to keep up. Folding a monster there. The 7 deuce hits the muck.
Oh.
Wow. And the
Milos,
second nuts.
what were you
7-4.
Shanice wakes up with a decent hand here. King
Yeah.
10, cut off. She's going to raise it up a little bit. Looks like 43. She's going with the smaller raise size.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. The white chips are still in, or the yellow chips rather, are still in play. Might as well use them.
Give to the poor.
Get that 2.2 size. And David's going to defend the big blind with king high. Shanice dominating right now. And in position. So, scary board for both players here. All diamonds. Neither player has a diamond, but Shanice obviously going to see bet here.
Yeah. Position matters.
Way too much.
Yeah. And
It was a good defend there, though.
Right.
It's the
And
least I
ace
could
high
do,
board,
really.
she's the raiser. She's supposed to have the ace there.
I like it.
Yeah, that's also one of those where she's likely not opening that hand from an early position, but from the cutoff. Makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's also kind of proven that all the players are playing pretty straightforward, pretty snug right now. So you get a hand like that late position, you're probably going to be good, or you can be at least good and evaluate on some post flop play.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
He's their ace.
Well, you don't have to win this game. It'd be good to win.
I don't like going to game sevens. Game sevens are coin flips.
Yeah, talking about the Astros game there. Hopefully we get a Astros win in game 6 tonight.
Handle the business, you know.
Completely agree. Looks like we're getting a stack to the middle.
Yeah, we got an all-in here from Mark. Iberia Bull
Cannot play.
in the 8th seat. Jack 9 of clubs. Making a move here. He probably does not want to call, but if he gets one, he's, you know, that's not a terrible hand to have. Usually lots of equity there. A couple of live cards suited. But it folds around, which is exactly what he wanted.
Gets it through. And he probably didn't like that hand that much, but suited, connected.
There you go.
Big blind coming in 3 hands.
Exactly.
Make a move.
You're probably not going to get much better than that. You're a little worried you're not going to get much better than that. You want that free roll I was just talking about. Pick up the blind so you can wait for a better hand.
I can't sweat him when he plays because the way he peels his cards, he looks at the first one and then he like, it's such a slow roll. He'll be like, sit behind me, watch me play. I'm like, no, I can't. Slow rolled every time.
It's a baccarat thing.
Beat on with
it?
suited ace. I'm sure we're going to see a raise here. And there it is. Min click to
I'm gonna
40K.
play Baccarat.
Just going to get a
Don't
call
think I would
from
like it.
Milos with King 9 of clubs.
Can we find a red 9 on the flop? Maybe not. We just saw one pass by.
Saw one, yeah.
And
Folds
let's
all the way
see.
around to the big blind here. Big Fish wakes up with a couple of 7s. He may just jam
Wow.
this in here. Or he
Yeah.
might peel one off and set mine. Yeah, I don't hate the play there.
Yeah, I like that. I was about to say, it's one of those of, it's pretty cheap to see the flop. You might be completely dominated. They might have pocket 10s, 9s, 8s, all of that. They might have had a queen. It's less likely. We see 2 of them on the flop, but
Yeah, if I'm Big Fish, I like my hand a lot right now.
Oh,
Checks all
yeah.
the way around. You've
With
got a
that-
pair, and I would make that club draw possibility pay if I was him. So this might be well, now that it's checked and then bet, it's tough for him, but I think I jam here if it's me.
yeah, this is one of those where it's tricky, given his stack size and what's out in the middle already. This is one of those, you're pretty committed. You don't want to just call here.
Oh,
Yeah.
makes the laydown.
Tough, but potentially right, and you see the stare across the table.
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 moves there. You're,
Yeah.
you're obviously not calling. You're jamming or you're folding, and he chose the safer play.
Stole that, didn't you? Good for
And he's going to go back and watch that one immediately. That's kind of the scrub through. Okay, that's where I folded.
Yeah. But he's going to see that he had the club draw too, so
Yeah.
maybe he's not going to hate it. The club's in 2 overcards, so
Exactly.
you know, anything can
I
happen
was
there.
just about to look. I texted my mom, and then I was just about to look.
Milos is
It-
not folding that
yeah.
hand to the jam.
It's just one of those 6 spots where you're defending the blind with a pretty strong hand. You just don't quite know where you're at, though.
Right.
That might be the best play.
You're either good or you're way behind. See if we can find another collision. We've got a decision here on the button. One of my favorite hands, 7 deuce. This is suited though, so it does have more equity than usual. My man. Clip this one. This is the highlight reel.
I love it.
Again, though, it's one of those where it's like he just might be a little bit of a maniac, kind of like me. Sees this opportunity, but he also has the stack to do it with.
Sure, and he's got position, and it's folded all the way around to him, so it's likely that he's got a decent hand if everybody folds. You know, the blinds are obviously thinking, okay, nobody has anything, and look at this, smashes the flop, but he's probably not going to get paid because there's an ace out there too.
Yep. This is one of those where you might have to cartwheel this one. Bet or slow play. You can't really slow play this. Yeah, you just want to take it down, honestly.
Not quite, I don't think.
I like this bet here, 56 for some reason.
Yeah, AQ is experienced enough that he is probably calculating, keeping track of what's in the middle. He is probably electing for just over half pot. Let's see if he shows this one. No. And that is a true tournament player.
Right.
The no-show.
Now,
Did anybody catch you on the
had he
Steelers
flopped
game?
nothing, he would have shown.
Yeah.
If you flop two pair, why show that?
That's build the image. But
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll talk to Brandon about that one later. He'll enjoy that.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, context matters. AQ probably knew that
Should have done the Chargers.
Big Fish,
Why, what's the
Marcel to his direct
The
left,
Chargers
wouldn't be
lost
able to make that
17-31.
call
I'm trying to see
unless
if
he
the
had
Steelers
something.
won. I don't know. They
And
were
really,
up.
it's more of a shove than a call.
The Steelers
And
won?
those two larger stacks really don't want to get into it right now.
You guys talk me out of that? How do I let you talk me out of that? Now I'm out of the number. I'm really so good.
I mean, my favorite game was the Chargers at Chiefs, but
Action folding around here to AQ. He's not going to make a move this time with the
What about
8-3.
Seahawks
That's not as good as 7-deuce,
No.
obviously. Folds all the way to the blinds here, and Brandon just limping in with the 10 tray here.
Wow.
Iberia Bull waking up with ace-jack in the small blind. He's still the shortest stack, and he jams it in and takes down a couple extra chips here after Brandon limps.
Yep.
But B-Dong's not supposed to raise with 10 tray, and he's never supposed to fold. So
Yeah.
that hand just played the way it was supposed to go.
Yeah, that blind on blind, I do feel like can be a little bit understudied. Rarely will you experience it. Like the cash players, I'd say, are the fish out of the water, if you want to say, in that sense, when it comes to tournament poker. When it folds around like that, and they really don't know kind of the best options there. Sometimes it is best to just essentially complete, right? Call the blind, see the flop, or see what the short stack to your left does in that situation.
Yeah, you're always getting the right price to call.
Yeah.
But a tournament player is also savvy, and they know that if you
Yeah.
just call, that they're going to raise a certain percentage of the time.
Yeah.
So you have to have some just calls in your range that you're going to raise back with also.
Exactly. So that actually will help Brandon potentially in the future, where he could potentially trap with a monster
Yeah.
and find that raise that.
Oh, Big Fish finds his favorite hand here, and he's going to get it in with the Queen 9. And that's why he's such a big fish.
Just week to week. I don't mind doing that. It's a set of math.
But it may get through here. Oh, no, Milos waking up with an ace. Might be giving him a call here.
Yeah,
Pretty
that's what,
cheap to
the
try to
gentleman-
bust
the
a
gentleman
player.
Made the
Yeah.
gumbo. That's what he was saying about his.
The only question is if
Galen?
that's a call.
With the leaves on
Lee
it.
made.
Oh, Lee man. That's probably pretty good.
It was good.
You don't feel as good with the 6, no suit, but yeah, that's a
Yeah.
defense.
Basically a coin flip here, and Big Fish probably loves that because
Yeah.
He probably thought he was dominated when he got the call. He is at risk here. He does have the shorter stack, so Fish is looking to fade. Or he's looking to make a hand here.
Yeah, make the better hand and then hold.
Yeah.
But yeah, you love seeing the 6 if you're in Big Fish's shoes.
Yeah. Oh, and he flops
Wow.
it. Flops a 9, takes the lead. Milos making a 6 here, though, so he can catch an ace or a 6.
A 7 would be fun. There you go.
And there's a
There
7.
you go.
Yeah, it could be a chop.
Chopportunities.
A 10 or a 5.
Looks like they're both open-ended currently on the board.
Big Fish
Like
reeling in some chips.
kind of like a 5 for a second.
Nice double up there for Marcel. Gets his favorite hand, plays it the way you're supposed to play your favorite hand.
Yep.
Gets rewarded for his terrible play.
Yeah,
And,
if you bust being you, it's just, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Nice jump.
Quick look at the payouts here.
Yeah.
Paying 4 today. First, nearly 3,900 there. And the first to be paid will be 950 unless we see some sort of deal, chop, ICM, what have you, a little bit later on. So
And it looks like blinds just went up here to 15 and 30, so pressure's going to be on now for these shorter stacks.
yep, and a good look at the table there. We have a couple players there underneath 10 big blinds.
Yeah, definitely in pressure town now, so
My 10-8 would have
There goes that man.
nice time for the double up for Big Fish.
My 10-8
That is a 10-8.
With the blinds going up and dealer
That hand does not work
change.
for me.
Jen
I
going
play it all the
out,
time for you.
Scott coming in. Scott, one of our newer dealers. Also a great Champions Club dealer.
It does work for you.
We're lucky here at Champions Club. We have a great staff of dealers from here in Houston and surrounding areas and also from all over the country. We have a lot of dealers that used to deal on the tournament circuit that followed the management team here
I think we're
to
all
Houston.
average right
And
now, honestly.
we've just got some great staff here. We're super lucky to have them.
So we've got a Queen Jack offsuit from AQ being opened from under the gun +3.
And he forgot about the blind levels going up, so he's going to have to put a little bit more in here, min raising it to 60,000.
And probably find a, wow, fold from Big Fish.
Of all people to disrespect
Dual
my big
jam
blind.
Queen 9, but fold King Queen.
Time for the Ashes game.
I check.
I'll check.
7, 4, and 7 deuce got there on this flop.
Gotta love it.
Check.
And it's a domestic dispute here. Shanice and AQ are a
I have
couple.
4 flush cards.
And Shanice is going to be mad to find out that Queen High is beating Jack High.
Yeah. Any bet might have taken it there.
Yeah, first one to bet would have definitely taken it, but
Yeah.
it worked out the way it was supposed to. Best hand got there.
Yeah, the two of us were not beating a lot on that.
Once you get all the information, now we've got ace 4 finding the muck from under the gun. And AQ got an upgrade to ace queen now. Definitely going to remember what the blinds are and find the middle with this one.
Yeah.
You gonna raise both my blinds?
This time 65,000 is the raise. AQ with the AQ. Big Fish with your hand. He's going to get out of the way.
Yeah. Good fold this time.
Oh.
And it's going to be AQ and Shanice again, possibly. She wakes up with Queen 9 suited and the small blind decides to defend.
Yeah.
Oh, 65. Sorry, I didn't see that.
I'm not sure I really like this choice on her part. Queen 9 suited beat by a lot of different hands and dominated by this particular one.
Yeah, you
She's out of
really have to
position.
smash it or know where you're at here, and that is an interesting one.
Yeah. She could be in trouble here.
Yeah, she's not going to put him on that ace since there's 2 already out there. She is live to 11 outs, and she's not going to consider this anymore, I don't think. Yep, so got the fold. It's nice enough to show, yep, I did have you.
Yeah.
If you sell the tickets,
Probably wouldn't have done that if it had been a different player.
Yeah.
they may have been sold.
Yeah, that's like, hey, let's not fight about this later.
They weren't gonna just look.
wasn't bluffing you out of there.
Yeah.
If they meet your price, I don't know if they automatically sell or you got to do something.
I see. I really don't even know.
But yeah, these players actually have
I
had
don't ha- I
quite
think
a
you do
long
have to
day.
send them to them.
Smaller field, but
Yeah, I think you do have
they
to
kick
send
things
them
off right at noon.
again.
They don't want them. Once they
We are on a Champions Integrity hour delay. So what has already happened?
just for the atmosphere.
Oh yeah, for sure. You miss a couple.
Yeah,
lines. The
No
important
spoilers
part of the
for
game.
me. I know somebody did go out at some point, but I can't remember who it was
Yep.
before we came out here. So, but that's no surprise with the average stack being about 11 big blinds right now. That somebody's going to go out.
Is he'd just shown that he'd flopped trip aces, right?
Yeah.
They could think that he's just abusing his stack, using his stack to his advantage, opening any 2, but if they watch this back, they're going to realize that he's really had some hands outside of that 7s up that he flopped with
And
the
he,
7
and he didn't
deuce.
show that one down. So, oh wow, look at this turn card, Big Fish turning second nuts. AQ might think his ace high is good after the check back on the previous street, and so he does fire out, lead out 30 here. Small bet.
Very small bet. Maybe just a feeler bet. He knows that
Big
Big Fish should find the fold or just a small call.
Yeah,
Maybe if he finds the call, he just has 1 diamond there, and now AQ is going to find the muck for the cheap price of 30K.
Yeah, I like this raise. I think Fish was trying to decide if he wanted to just call or raise there, and then he.
Yeah.
I think his thought was AQ raise pre. He may have a naked ace, make
Yep.
him pay to see another card, and turns out it might have been better for him to just call in that particular instance. But that's easy to say when you can see the cards.
Oh,
I like
100%.
his play in the situation there.
Yeah, I like what you're getting at. It's one of those where you're trying to realize equity, but sometimes you have to deny equity at that same time. So you're almost not trying to get to showdown in that instance.
Well, maybe you can
Deny
go
the
on.
equity to that ace of diamond draw if he does have it.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
Souvenir ticket.
And another ace for AQ. Looks like he can find them from any position.
And this time he's going to get out of there. I like that.
Yeah.
Under the gun, not a great ace. Don't want to be raising every hand. You're going to get looked up for sure.
Yeah. Big Fish is now chipped up to a bigger stack, so this has to be an open here.
And he does. 65,000 with the King Queen of Hearts. Milos defending the hijack here with deuces. Looking to set mine. I really don't love the call with the deuces here, especially the stack size that Milos has. Yep. And now Big Fish has just smashed his flop, and I almost would have liked to see him check that. His hand is so strong.
Yeah.
It feels like a check to me.
Ace is ahead, but yeah, shows him the monster there.
Hello. Hello.
So that's how
Yellow.
it's gonna be.
Probably playing
So that's how it's gonna be.
boys and girls.
That's what it's like.
And maybe he knew that Deuce Diamonds was coming on turn.
Yeah, could be. And Milos in rough shape now, down down to 170, which is about 5.5 bigs.
Yeah. But yeah, like you said, that's just one of those ICM spots where the more tournament poker you play and watch, the more you're probably going to overfold deuces and threes, and that's because any bet on almost any flop he has to fold to at that point.
Right.
Unless he hits his set, you know? So.
Yeah, and if you have a little bit more chips, you can jam there.
Yeah.
But with his stack, I feel like that's not the best. Now, Bidong waking up here with ace king.
Under the gun +1.
Just jamming it in. I would like to see a smaller raise with that hand, given his stack size.
I was about to say, it's kind of invite somebody in. You honestly can also just run into it from that early of a position. Somebody behind you wakes up with kings, with aces. What happens at that point? So you can definitely afford to open smaller and try to actually win some chips off of it.
Right.
From a better hand. Sure, you might get outflopped, but you can take a small hit.
Yeah, we're batting. L2 just got on base.
The fear might be you open small and one of the short stacks jams behind, and then somebody tries to isolate them, and then what do? Now you've got too many opponents, but I don't actually hate that with ace king. I think I want that action.
It's similar to a lot of people, again, context dependent, but it's one of those where open jamming aces or kings, if you have the stack to play, not always the best move. Now, see, this does make more sense where ace king, almost similar position, under gun +2 now, but 170K, he's got to find the middle.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
170K is a lot different than 600K.
Yeah. You're just risking so much more by putting out 600K.
And Milos gets through here, picks up the blinds and antes, so now he'll have a free orbit. Feels good after losing that last pot a couple of hands ago.
Yeah. See, but to your point earlier, he's getting back the blind, or I forget what the raise was there that he called off.
65K.
Yeah. So he's really just getting back what he'd already spent on that hand there. Much easier for us, though, I'd definitely say.
Sure. I would have never made the final table, so I never had to. wouldn't have
never
to be
been
in
in
this
that
situation. But when you can see all the cards,
Yeah.
it's so easy.
Easy poker. Just play money for us right now.
Yeah. And
They're the ones making it.
Here's one of those things where if you're a cash player, this looks like a real pretty hand. But when you're in early position, this is not a good all-in, in my opinion.
Yeah, maybe using the image, but nines, pocket nines, tens, jacks, ace king.
Yeah, when you're a short stack, a lot of times your question is, am I going to see a better hand than this than when I have to pay the blind? And when your hand is 8 high, the answer is probably yes.
Probably yes. But this might be his second favorite hand.
Yeah.
So, and here we have it. The kings from the small blind.
I like this. Can I get a count?
And acting like he has a decision. The real decision he's thinking is isolate or flat.
Right.
What is Brandon going to have in the big blind? And a quick fold.
Yeah.
Look, everybody.
And he raises good.
So Iberia Bowl now needing a lot of help.
I didn't try to do some of my
And-
worst.
Get nervous, but I did fold one of those.
Oh, an 8 in the window.
Oh, man.
But kings are still good so far. Iberia Bowl needing a 7 or an 8 here. Looks like they're all live, so that's good news for him. And Big Fish just looking to fade one of those, and he does. And Iberia Bowl will be eliminated
Yep.
in. Oh, so these are bounty chips of some kind. There we go.
Good night.
I don't know what the bounty is, but I just saw him give Big Fish a chip, so that makes sense. And now we have 8 after Iberia Bowl is eliminated. Average stack now up to 380,000, or about 12 bigs. Still danger zone for a lot of players here.
And then your journey. Because I saw the king.
But Big Fish having a good couple of orbits there.
Yeah,
Going
definitely
from
so.
at risk to big stack, I believe. I think he's got the most chips now.
Yeah, he came in only 230,000 chips. It's definitely had quite a spin up, especially within that last orbit.
And he went for only $50 in the Calcutta. Somebody's
Yeah.
doing good there.
Yeah, so there was an auctioning of players before the final table. So Calcutta, some side bets were placed to see, I guess it generated a prize pool of a little over $430. People taking action, either buying some action essentially in a separate prize pool for their favorite players or people they thought that would win it. Marcel was the cheapest option and doing pretty good. This is one of my favorite hands as well, a Jack 10 suited. Might find some pressure from pocket 10s. Not just pocket 10s, but pocket 10s from one of the largest stacks on the table.
Yeah, and AQ is going to isolate here, re-raising, making it 220. Which,
Yep, quickly.
I thought he was calling.
Oh, I'm sorry, I did not hear the call. I'm sorry.
He didn't say call.
all right,
Yeah.
so we do have a call from Dave here. AQ quickly turning his hand over, maybe too quickly, but
excited to show his 10s and
Yeah.
get the flip started.
and now David will be at risk here,
Close your eyes and it'll be over soon.
looking to flop some diamonds, and he does. Now he needs a diamond or a jack here to double up through AQ.
How about
Yep.
that?
His outs just grew exponentially.
Good idea how
Good
hard
for the
that
grand.
And there it is. That will do it.
Quick
David
sweat.
will be doubling up here. AQ does have the chips to pay it off, though. AQ is still going to be over average stack even after taking a hit there.
Yep.
But that's going to move David up to just over the average as well. Some good news for him.
Yeah, we've seen some accumulation and redistribution
Fun and
of the
relaxation.
chips. Less than an hour into this.
Fun and relaxation.
Nice hand.
No, I'm sorry. 157.
One-
157.
No, I think it is
No,
177.
177.
177. So
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I like 177.
I like it better too.
Sorry.
Yeah, that was one of those hands where he raised enough, he had enough of a hand to call that off once that raise by AQ was made. Can't really fold that, you're just putting it in and hoping for the best of it.
You're 20,000, not 40,000.
Thank you. Thanks.
Now we've got Scott pitching some cards out. See what we wake up with on this hand. Mark woke up with a King 4 offsuit, which finds the middle.
Had a question in the chat from KC. What was the requirement to play in this tournament? This is an invitation-only tournament. James Duke, one of our favorite players and regulars here at Champions Club, invited some of his friends and some of our staff to play in this event. 35 players total. And it was a 200 buy-in after that, 100 rebuys, and a single $100 add-on if you were in the tournament. So, yeah, kind of a fun event for a one of our local legends here. Old Blue Hair, as Phil Hellmuth calls him, but James Duke, one of our favorites.
Yep. Any regular will quickly recognize James Duke here at Champions. If you drink at all here as well, you've probably had a drink with him. If you've watched the stream, actually, you've probably seen a couple streams of his. He's pretty regular on the cash game stream. He's made some tournament final tables, I believe, as well.
Great.
But yeah, great guy. So it's no surprise that he has a great big group of friends that want to come out, hang out with him, and play some poker.
Yeah, and a fun day of poker for him and his friends. 20-minute levels, plenty of chips, and a nice little tournament.
Yeah.
Not something that's going to last 20 hours, but
Yeah.
something that's going to be an all-day event for some guys that want to get together and play some cards. And it looks like blinds just went up again here. We're at 20-40 now. 20-minute levels in this event, so things do go relatively quickly when you get to the final table.
Yeah, you want to enjoy maybe one day, not 2 days, with your old friends.
And AQ raising it up again here, this time with sixes. He's had a lot of hands that he can open with, and it raises to 90,000 now at this 20-40 level. I think things are going to move really quickly now. Average stack right at about 10 bigs.
Yeah. It looks like Mark wants to move it pretty quickly, too. The King 4 jam, and it looked like he didn't want to fold that suited queen there, so definitely understandable in the big blind when it just cost him 80,000 to make that fold.
I think I lost everything.
Dave, we're looking to you for Astros updates.
It's on commercial break right now.
But you know what?
Yeah, those players are definitely going to be sweating the Astros game that started.
That was a big one. You should have heard that.
There are some TVs over in kind of off screen there.
Yeah.
But they won't have any of their phones or electronics on them. All those get locked away in a safe right off screen there.
You got a white shirt.
Given the situation, I would imagine they'll start thinking about talking about a deal here if they get closer in chips.
Yeah.
Marcel, Big Fish here, has quite a stack, so he may not want to make too much of a deal, but things can turn around in a hurry on these final tables, as you know.
Yeah, these magnets, what can you say?
Tournament poker, arguably just as much variance as the great game of PLO.
And B-Dong's going to jam it in here for 216,000, waking up with two black sevens.
Wow. Dan all in to call, but this, I would say, is a hand that you might want to do it with, especially from the big blind.
Yeah, we've seen Dan play pretty snug here, but this is a nice-looking hand, especially in this situation where you've got less than 10 big blinds.
Yep.
Yeah, and here he
Good
goes.
call. Too much hand to find the muck, and he's going to be pretty happy to see that B-Dong has unders.
So it is a coin flip, but Dan does have the shorter stack and will need some help here, or he will be eliminated in 8th place. Only paying 4 spots in this tournament.
Yeah, and again, that's why I like kind of being a little more aggressive with these call-offs. And rewarded.
King in the window. Good news for Dan. B-Dong's going to lose a little over half his stack here if he can't catch a 7 on the turn of the river.
And if you watch some Poker Stars, if you listen to Joe Stapleton with his commentary, says it's always coming 7. Not this time, though. So Dan is good for the double.
And good news for him. He needed it.
That's a good hand, sir. It's like a beautiful hand. I love that. You need like king, queen.
I had a bold king queen
Yep.
suited.
Brandon seeing the reality of tournament poker, feeling it. Coming into the final table with the chip lead,
You said you folded his
but
big ones, right?
you've got to win the flips.
Yeah, no matter how good you play in a tournament, it seems like you're going to have to win 2 or 3 coin flips to get there, at least. On a short tournament.
I always like those interviews. I remember seeing Jonathan Little, one of his kind of deep runs on a tournament, and his bust out interview was just like, yeah, I won a lot of flips and then I didn't.
That about sums it up.
It's 1-1, guys. Game's 1-1.
Who's that bat? I think the Rangers are.
The Rangers are at bat. Yeah, I think they just scored.
Brandon getting a little more interested in the baseball game after losing something.
Right. Milos down to 145. He wakes up with an ace and gets those chips in there. I like the move.
At 145?
Any ace is good in that position.
Yeah, 9 might be good if you hit it, depending on what calls you.
And he's just going to pick up the blinds and antes here uncontested, which is almost a double up for him. Good news. Take the pressure off a little bit.
You guys want to sell me your 1Ks?
Big fish, the big stack, offering to buy up the small chips here. We're going to be coloring those off.
Yeah.
After this level, I believe.
Give him the 5. I can't do that. I'm so
Table captain duties. He's wearing a hoodie now, but
Yeah,
usually
I
he's in a polo, working the floor for champions here. So that color up is part of his duties usually.
Appreciate you thinking of me.
And this time it's big fish with the ace, but in early position and all those chips, you don't have to play an ace-9 offsuit. You can wait for a better spot, let the small stacks duke it out. And here we go. One of those small stacks waking up with the ace-king and the cutoff is going to get him in there.
Yeah, small stack, but big hand.
Oh, an AQ in the big blind.
Yeah.
Forced to call in a dominating situation here.
Charity call.
Yeah. Call 3 blinds to see if you're good.
Is that it?
Ace king.
You've already put 2 blinds in there.
Yeah.
That's just kind of
80 in.
heavy as the crown.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's
80 in there already.
So Mark in good shape here to double up.
Yes.
7.
Some connectivity to the 9-8 for that 10 of AQ.
Yeah. Better spot than you're normally going to be in there, but we can see 2 of those 10s are dead right now, so
Yeah.
he's going to need the running cards.
And doesn't
Or catch
catch
the last
that.
So Mark in really good shape now.
Yeah. Yeah, AQ's having flashbacks to yesterday. I know he took some bad beats in a tournament, big tournament up north.
That's your jack.
Yeah.
One more card. One more card.
Ocean card, please.
Now he's open-ended.
Ocean card.
Yeah, that's one of those. I'm not sure if I'd rather see the jack on the turn or just know, like, it's almost like false hope, you know?
Sure.
If you know it's going to come jack deuce, I'd almost just rather take the deuce ahead of time.
Yeah. If you know it's going to come jack deuce, just don't show me anything. Take the money.
No, yeah, exactly. But if you're telling me there's a chance,
Right.
make sure to deliver. Yeah, Marcel almost fell in that whole rack there.
Good hand.
Thank you. I was on fuse.
Raise all in from 7.
Bidong in with an ace.
$190 something?
Yeah, putting that bounty chip in there, if that helps the decision. He'd probably much rather the fold at this point.
Yeah, big fish waking up with a pair here, has to make a crying call. Similar to the last situation, but he's in better shape than he thought he was going to be in. Only 1 overcard for Bidong. Bidong will be at risk here. He's going to need some help.
And I heard Bidong too say Kind of already doubled them up twice, it sounds like. They've got some history already going on this tournament today.
Yeah.
Nah.
Might try to find the stand-up equity. Yep.
Well, no wheel card on the turn means he needs to catch that ace.
The king would actually counterfeit
Oh.
and sit back down. You have a better two
Wow.
pair with the ace kicker.
You're right about the king. I missed that, and he gets it.
Yeah, those darn eights. It was really the 8 that did it,
Right.
you could say.
Counterfeited his pocket sevens.
And there's
Yep.
new life
King on the
for the stand-up man.
Yeah, thousands you have over there, sir?
Yeah, stand-up equity. I fully believe in it.
when I ask him for a
Not superstitious, just a little stitious, and that is one of my little stitions.
Yeah.
All right, just give me
Keep
2.
two. Keep
Keep
two.
it 2.
Keep
That's
two.
very fair.
Two.
We're upset that Speedong did not get sent to the cash room.
Yeah, we were definitely begging for him to bust all day. we like him on the mixed game table. It's no lie.
Maybe. I'll let you know.
And most of those fish with the King Jack may have to make another crying call.
Yep. And he's got the stack to do it. Finds the
Get out of
fold.
the way, yeah. Good fold there. You're dominated a lot of time with that
Yeah.
hand, so, and in this case he was. It's out of the way.
Might also just be over budget for this orbit, you know?
Right. Yeah.
I sometimes joke, but I'm also partially serious about making those evaluations. If he hadn't just doubled Brandon, he might have felt loose enough and stacked up enough to make that call.
Yeah, it's definitely a fallacy to believe in the streaks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they do seem to happen sometimes. And
Yeah,
Oh, definitely.
you can feel a little hurt after losing one where you were a favorite.
I mean, when it's the marginal calls or folds, those situations, when it's like a 1%, yeah, people can kind of they default to the randomizers, and that can be all right. That's the solution this time. That's the randomizer this time. I just lost that pot. I'll fold this potentially dominated hand, like you said.
AQ with the AQ again. Raising it up to 80,000.
Yeah, he's really missing that opportunity to have that as his favorite hand.
Yeah.
10-8 suited is his favorite hand. He listed himself on our notes as a donkey, but not showing that side at all.
It's always non-donkeys that say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Milos calling off half his stack here with Queen 10. I don't love that at all. And the ace gets there for AQ. Check, check.
Trapping
AQ
him
trapping
into
him.
it. Yeah. Giving him a free peel to
And now-
potential flush draw.
Yeah, Milos catching the flush draw. Now he's going to have to put his chips in there.
Yeah. You can't. Yeah. Especially as played. Good check on the flop, honestly, from AQ there.
Now Milos needing to catch a diamond here on the river, or he's going to be out. And he's going to miss it. AQ eliminating another player. And now we're down to 7.
You get that bounty.
Ooh, I was waiting for
And-
you. Don't worry.
Just in time for the blinds to go up.
Yeah.
She the big blind or she the
I'm big by myself.
Going to 30 and 60,000, which is a big jump here, but this was kind of a
Yeah, 7 now?
turbo structured tournament here, being a
20,
No, but
50?
fun style invitational. So missing some of the great levels the Champions normally gives in their structure, speeding things up a bit here.
You guys want to
Yeah.
try out a few more spots? or
One of the
something, or-
few places in Texas where 20 minutes feels like a turbo.
Right.
600. Like we could take.
I say 300 off of first for fifth and 200 off of second.
The only thing I know.
So now
is
we
that
are
There's 7 of
I
us.
just
hearing a little bit of talk about a deal,
$1,000 on tickets
I'm
that
trying to pay all 7.
but when
I'm fighting
two
getting my money
of the
back.
players there have 24
Oh, there's a
bigs,
little bit
and
of it.
I'm okay with paying 5th or 6th, but anything more than that, I don't
Right.
think makes sense.
Doesn't make sense.
If you guys want to. It's up to you.
I was saying 300 off first for fifth.
Oh, I was going to
200 off
say, it makes
second.
more sense.
I got an
That's
idea.
400, 300.
Let's put all that money in a
No,
hat,
it's
and one person wins it all.
Dude, I'm so down.
That sounds like a chop block to me.
Masters game. I'm like, I would totally do that right now.
Sounds like I would
I'd
enjoy
card for-
drinking with him.
I'd card for all of it.
Right.
If that's his logic.
Let's go.
Take all.
That's fine by me.
Sounds like a rich man next to me. That's for sure.
Yeah, I decided to shut up during that part because I love hearing the deal making.
Yeah, I'm always interested in that.
Yeah, I could put a dent in my ceiling.
For a long time, I worked World Series circuits, and they were not allowed to talk chop at the table. So they would all take a break, and you know they were talking chop out in the hallway.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by the talk because I like to
Definitely.
know what actually happens, you know.
Yeah, and I've seen different tours kind of do different things on that where some will kind of say, like what you're saying, the World Series, don't allow it on their end. They don't facilitate it. But then some others will take breaks or kind of mute the commentators or the audio of the players during that portion too if they do allow for any deal making. But yeah,
I understand.
as a tournament player myself, I love
I'm down to
hearing
play at
others
least 6 places,
negotiate
and then-
for their own money.
4 off of first
Right.
and 3 off of second, so it's still $3,400.
It's a $1,200
So
chop right now.
on the structure sheet that we have in front of us,
I'm fine
it
with
goes
that. I
to
want to go play cash. There's a mixed game out there that's
3060, but it looks I'm seeing 2550 out there, so maybe they did give them that
You'll
level.
be out there
Yeah.
in a second.
Yeah, and the players there talking
Out there a few hands ago.
beat-on saying that he wants to make a deal so he can
What are we doing?
go donate to
I mean, we're
the
just discussing.
Now we're just
mixed game table.
play. Oh,
No, forget
Right.
it.
Little does he know that I think that game broke when we came in here and some other players were jumping to some other tables, but
I'm all in.
Dan shoving it all in here, waking up with kings under the gun. And I would say that's a big raise, but nobody has more than 12 big blinds right now, so I mean you can just jam with any hand here. And
wow.
Bidong waking up with a suited ace. He's gonna get out of the way.
Yeah, that was probably a respective image there.
Nice hand.
Yeah.
I
King.
mean, my thought is that average stack is 8 blinds, so one option is to chop.
It's also always
One option is
nice
to
when there's
ICM. One option is just to move a little bit around to pay like 6 places.
I got 12
So
blinds.
So we're
There's
7
3 different
handed.
options.
there's always talk of deals and then hands like that will happen.
We're so short, so it's just flip
It's,
after
it's
flip.
8
It's up to you
blinds,
guys.
yeah, it's 8 blinds.
I don't know. Like I said, I'll do whatever you guys want.
I'm up for doing a chop.
For a chop?
You want to look at ICM chop, like based on your chip stack?
No, just a chop.
Just straight chop?
Straight chop.
I mean, who has? I have 600,
He is 600 as well.
and he has 600. So there's nothing
So we can
really.
just
Yeah,
structure it
AQ's
in a way that you-
AQ's kind of veteran tournament player. I don't think he's going to be looking at doing a straight chop.
we gotta play
Someone will bus here.
That's
before-
really just kind of giving money away.
At the same time,
I mean, I think
he only has 2 more big blinds than
Yeah.
the average stack, you know. So it's,
But I mean,
or I
it's-
guess 3 more big blinds, but
Well, we're mid-hand, so we can't discuss
Yeah, whatever.
chop. We can discuss paying 5th and 6th, but we're not the chop.
It is one of those things too where players will try to factor in if AQ thinks he has an edge and he currently has that
For the hand.
that slight chip lead, he might be trying to seek that little bit of edge where he might have a better understanding of ICM than some of the other players on the table there.
If we do a straight chop, we'll each get about 12.
He might wake up with a snowman, the pocket 8s there, be able to raise to 120 under the gun +1, put some additional pressure
buying in
and
if
collect
you're good for the chop?
blinds, and then maybe come back to let's do an
Yay or
ICM.
nay? I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Chop
yeah,
it.
it looks like he's not interested right now. He's going to have to lose a pot before he's into it.
Yep. And that's what they also
We're
say.
waiting on.
But what do we
First
do
one to
with
say
all
no,
these guys have
because you have to have a unanimous decision.
They just probably push
It
to get
is
their money
all
back.
of their money,
Yeah, they just push, yeah.
but the curse is the first to say no is usually the next one out.
Yeah, I've seen that so many times.
What are you
You don't have to
doing?
deal the hand either way.
Now, if I was Shanice in this spot, I would say, let's just chop it. I'll give you 600 of my dollars, or
Yeah.
what? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
How about the stroke or E?
they'll talk about it later.
yeah.
Break off $20.
I know both of them pretty well, and I can read that language.
Yeah, I could see it right there.
Yeah,
She said all she needed to say with that look.
She's also
Yeah,
really wanting to watch the
really.
game, so.
Right.
Let's actually take like 2
Actually
minutes
tripping
after
right
this.
now. Y'all are actually tripping right now.
But yeah, from the sounds of it, it seems like AQ is the
I'll give
holdout.
you $20. I don't
Some
care.
of the tables
I'll
looking
give you
for a
$20.
direct
I'll
chop,
give you $20. Like, I wanna go
even
to the
chop.
game.
Some are looking for ICM, where they assign a dollar value to each chip,
Right.
and then based off the chip counts, they get a monetary value assigned to each stack.
All right, you-
It actually typically favors the shorter stacks, depending if there's a large disparity in
Right.
chips or not. So this would actually be pretty close to a even chop, because like you've been getting at, everybody's still pretty close. The difference is a couple blinds.
I think they almost got him talked into it here, or she almost does.
we
Old Big
can't
Fish
talk
with
about the chop
tens,
thing.
Yeah.
Mark with nines.
See, and this is also a six
yeah, I know,
spot
but it
where
has
you've got real
implications.
hands, but
And this is
if there's no
Shove
deal,
or
he's
fold
finding
situation.
but no deal talk, he's finding the middle with this.
right.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, it definitely affected this hand.
Yeah.
And that's where it's like I've kind of learned that along the ways too, where
Drop it.
Oh, and they're chopping
they
it.
are.
Chip in the middle if you're in for the chop.
And Big Fish, Marcel, he's fine with it.
And we
Yeah.
can keep it.
Denise, you good with the chop?
Yes.
You good with the chop?
and he actually is
extra 50 for us,
usually always ready to chop.
I'll
I've
give you
played some
$20
tournaments with him
myself.
too, and he's pretty laid back. Plays it for the love of the game, and everybody's happy.
Yeah, and with the speed of the structure, I like the deal, and
Yeah, I was like, I'm stupid.
everybody being right around that 8 to 10 to 12 big blinds area.
We're
The
not doing ICM.
chip lead's going to flip several times by
Yeah.
the time this thing ends, so I don't hate
Somebody's
the chop.
gonna
And
find it
everybody's going to go
cooler,
watch
yeah.
the World Series game now.
Yep. Hopefully it's the last game of this series, and then we can get into Astros versus most likely Phillies, right?
Yeah. Well, everybody out there watching, we appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for joining us for the James Duke Invitational final table. And we've got a 7-way chop. Everybody's going to go drinking with James Duke right now. That
Yeah.
would be my guess.
Yeah,
And
I'll
if
be out
you're
there.
in Houston, come on down and drink with us and James Duke. 6440 West Sam Houston Parkway South, right off the Bel Air exit of the Sam Houston Tollway in Chinatown. And there you have it, 7-way. It's $1,200 for each player. Not a bad chop. Nice little prize pool for this event. And check your Poker Atlas to see when our next tournament is. Champions Club running tournaments all the time and cash games as well. Come on down and visit us. Kyle, it's been a pleasure.
Yep.
For Champions Club in Houston, this is Dan Fouts signing off. Have a good night.
Thanks, y'all.